I am the CTO of Jozu, and we have recently released three Dagger modules to Daggerverse, and today I'm going to talk about those. We do provide platform engineering tools for AI and MLOps. So, we'll see in the demo what they're about. A little bit of background on what we do. What we do at Jozu is we provide platform engineering tools for AI and ML. One of the early projects that we have created is KitOps.ml. It's an open source project that essentially introduces an OCI artifact that can be used to package AI and ML artifacts into OCI registries. So what you see here is our own registry, and you can see that there are a bunch of what we call model kits in here. And when we go to a model kit, you can see that there are different contents that you can have in a model kit, including your code bases, your models, and if we look into the details, your weights for your model. This is actually you can actually just package any AI ML related artifact into a model kit. So one of the things that we had to do when we created our modules was we had to actually get these base models from their suppliers, right? It's like, and usually what they do is they actually put these models into Hugging Face, and then and people use it and repackage it and use it from there. So one of the early work that we did was actually to use GitHub Actions to package base models like the Llama 3s and mixed RALs and so on and so forth. So pretty much everything that you see here from Hugging Face into model kits and publish them in this repository. Our first implementation was, of course, it was a lot of, and I can't really stress that a lot there was a lot of shell scripts. And after a while, it started to get really, really frustrating for us because you cannot really test GitHub Actions locally. So we were looking for something that would give us more stability. There are a few tools out there that actually tries to emulate GitHub Actions locally, which they don't. So and then by luck, we actually bumped into Dagger, and we said, okay, let's give this one a try if this is going to help us a lot. So our first motivation was to create some modules for ourselves so that we can use our CLI from KitOps.ml project to package, unpack, push our model kits into our hub. While we were doing that, we also implemented a module for interacting with Hugging Face and another module for converting some of these models into the GGML GGOF format for easier consumption. So
Gorkem, and when you say modules here, you're talking about Dagger
models,
right?
Yeah, Dagger models. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, can't wait to see. do you have them on the other tab, or do they happen to be like hiding there? I'm just so
So they are here. So this is the kit one. This is our CLI, which is our which manages our OCI compliant packaging format. So essentially, you can store a model kit in any registry, and like Docker Hub or I don't know, GitHub packages.
Oh, nice.
Another one is Hugging Face. Just search for that. So this is the one that we have used for interacting with the Hugging Face for downloading repositories or files if when we need to. And another one, we called it GGov. And this one basically just takes a directory with model weights on some other format like TensorFlow or whatever your poison is, and turns that into a Giga format. And you can also do quantization of the model. That's how we actually manage the. Let's go back here. So if we go back here to this model, you will see that there are many different versions of it, and then you can see that they are labeled or tagged to be different quantizations. So this is how we manage our registry. We have a bunch of GitHub Action jobs that are using these modules to download from Hugging Face, create quantizations, convert them to GGov or other formats, depending on how we get them, and then package them as model kits and push them to the repositories. We also use the kit commands or the kit module to check for updates and also sign our model kits as well. So if we go back here, you can see that most of these are, well, all of these are actually signed models.
So one of the things that our user base tends to do with this, and part of why the Dagger modules I think are exciting, is because it makes it so much easier for them to do this. A lot of companies, don't want to necessarily let the engineers use whatever model they want or whatever data set they want from Hugging Face. There's often a kind of curated set that are kind of approved and okay. And so it makes it a lot easier if they can just have a pipeline that says, hey, there's a new version of whatever curated data set, pull that in, create a model kit for it. That becomes an immutable object, so they know it hasn't been tampered with or messed with. They can even sign that, post it to their container registry. And of course, that's where people go to get stuff to build their dev anyway. It just makes it super simple. So it's kind of exciting. These three things kind of fit together really nicely. Grab from Hugging Face, build the model kit, grab from Hugging Face, convert to GGov, and then build the model kit from there. So.
Yeah, and I think we should actually say that when we first initially implemented these modules, we actually didn't have any intention of publishing them. What happened is when we started talking with customers, as Brad mentioned, they actually wanted to be able to do this. And of course, nobody actually uses, they do, but most people use Jenkins in their CI/CD pipelines, unlike the popular belief. Therefore, Dagger provided us a way to give them a very quick solution to use model kits internally on their CI/CD pipelines as well.
Awesome. Oh, and so you drop a sort of a Dagger powered integration into their Jenkins configuration, their existing Jenkins, for example.
Yeah, that's exactly what we tried to do.
Nice.
They are trying to do, let's say.
That's awesome. And you can use it, of course, because it'll run anywhere. You can do in GitHub Actions or Jenkins or wherever your customers are at. That's very cool.
Yeah, that's exactly what we actually thought about it as well. With let's meet where the customers are, and this was the shortest distance to get there.
Is there a feature that was missing or something in the process of setting this up for your customers that you wish Dagger had, or?
Yeah, there are actually, right? It's like we deal with really large files, because you're running everything in a container, essentially in some cases you're running them in a VM. You need to have enough storage attached to those. So that was, I don't think that's essentially a Dagger problem, but the Dagger documentation at least doesn't talk about that much.
I see that. It's because it's containers under the hood. You got to deal with they're normal container problems, but they do exist, and you got to know they're there.
Yeah, they are there. Right. Yes, when you're using Dagger, you're not, for the first time, you may not actually notice that as well. Yeah. It's like it's a regular container problem, but until you realize that, it's a regular container problem, and I can solve it as a regular container solution, then it takes time to get there. One of the things that we actually thought about was, but never really acted on, was when you're doing your pipelines, we are training data extraction, cleaning, and training pipelines. People either write those as part of a notebook, which is the worst practice, and the best practice is essentially have some Python scripts that people develop for these different stages of their MLOps pipeline. One of the things that we discussed, can you actually automate some of those or all of those? Because you already, essentially data scientists have those scripts in place, and they know Python, and Dagger actually provides Python as well. So would that actually make it easier for them to adopt a pipeline that can be used more generally? But I don't know the answer to that, to be honest. I think there is some merit to it, but on the other hand, I have my doubts about being too much container specific as well with the data scientist.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely a subset of the Dagger community that is pushing for that. That wants Dagger to be applied more generally to more pipelines than just the CI pipeline. To be honest, it's kind of it's a dilemma for us because it is a general purpose engine. Everything that's a DAG, you could run a Dagger in theory, but that's hard to package in a very simple story. And so it is. CI is very simple. It's just two letters.
It is, and most of the data scientists that we have worked with are not very happy with dealing with anything Docker as well, and it's just their experience is not on that. So, they are happy with notebooks, and outside notebooks, it starts to get a little bit more resistance.
Yeah. I think that's a really interesting part, because maybe containers have to come to them. Maybe the container platform has to. It's not, containers are not the problem. It's just a very specific design of a very specific way to do containers that hasn't moved in 10 years, right? We came up with it, and it was cool and exciting. So, but it hasn't changed that much since, right? And maybe it's not. That design is not universally applicable.
Yeah, so I definitely agree with you, and this is something that we did. Well, this is not actually part of our Dagger demo, but one of the things that we did was, when you actually push a model kit to our registry, behind the scenes, it actually creates a container that you can just pull. And that container is available to you immediately, because essentially what it does is it just changes the manifest of the base container with the model bits from the model kit. So it's funny that you said that, it's perhaps the containers should come to them. And this was one of our ways of saying that, hey, you know what? You don't ever need to deal with a container. You just do your thing and run the kit pack command, and that's it. So that was one of our ways, and this is a very convenient way of actually serving your models. We did this for inference microservices, so it's a very convenient way of serving
that makes
your
perfect
models
sense to
in
me.
Containers, yeah.
And I think it applies to the rest of the pipeline that's going to surround that key component that is the model, right? There's just a lot of stuff around this, a lot of glue, and a lot of pipelines, and those pipelines, I think, would benefit from being containerized also. It's just that you can't just stick the whole thing into a Docker container, right? Yeah. You can do it with the model, and you guys are pushing that, which I think is great. Yeah. And I guess we'll follow the lead of that part of the Dagger community, asking us to come in and help them containerize the glue around it. It can't be monolithic. I think that's where the blocker is right now. Like it's not that they love having Python glue that's not repeatable. No, it's just that it's got to be code, right? So
yeah, and
ideally, if they can get the best of both, that'd be great.
Yep. Right. It's some great motivation for us too to produce even just the next little bit of documentation and examples, right? And like your blog post and this demo help a lot with that. But just a little bit more to help the next person that comes along to try a new experiment and push us forward.
Kind of makes me want to make another Dagger module that exposes that last part that you showed, like just that model as a container.
Turning model into a container kind of thing.
Yeah, that's one Dagger function, literally replacing the Docker run with a single Dagger call, and then you plug that into the rest of your pipeline. Yeah, makes me want to play with that. I guess I'm going to play with Kit some more.
You're welcome. We do accept PRs.
Okay. That's good because the Dagger team was just saying, please make less PRs. So I'll go and
put your energy elsewhere.
Okay, I don't know what I have done now.
Be careful what you wish for.
So I have a very short demo, and the Kit module is very, very straightforward. But this is something that I want to show that is very unexpected. That you will see. Look, we weren't expecting this benefit of using Dagger, so I'll just show that because it surprised us. Okay. So when you're using, I'm just gonna go to my earlier command because I don't want to just type stuff here. So basically, you can just go to the Dagger verse, copy the GitHub repo and all that, and then call the unpack command from, and before we do that, let's do my favorite. And you can see that we have a bunch of commands here, like the pack, unpack, and tag, and very similar to Docker commands, right? So one thing that you can do is to call the unpack command, which
and we should call out Gorkem, is calling this module right from GitHub. So you don't even need to have this module locally, which is really cool.
Yeah. So it takes a reference. A reference is like a Docker image reference, right? So I'll just use this one. So I'll copy this. So if I do this 2 times, it will just copy the reference and not the full command, like not the Kit command. We have an Easter egg there.
That's a nice. Yeah, we might emulate that. That's nice. Cool.
So, wait, what was it? I missed it.
If you double click on the copy button, it has different behavior.
So
so the first time it does the full command, and then the second time it grabs just the reference and not the actual Kit command and flags. So if you need to kind of just paste the reference in, it's a super fast way to get there.
Wonder how many iterations in Figma for that. Iteration number 9. Okay.
No, it was just enough complaints to the UI designer, and that's it.
Fine, I'll do it. Okay.
So,
Please continue.
what this one is going to do, it actually returns a directory, a Dagger.directory object, which you can extract. So I'm going to just start this just so that we can see it is slow. But I won't let it finish. And you can see that it's going for 10 minutes and so on and so forth. And the reason for that is it's actually downloading a 5.5 gigabyte model at this point. And this is, I never run with this model before, so this is new. So I'll just kill this one for now and go for another model, which I have run before and exported. So, but now it's not exported anymore. So let's see that I don't have it. I'll just rerun this command here. And as you can guess, and I didn't do anything special, and the Dagger module that we are using is not actually doing anything special, right? It's just the Dagger itself that basically gives us this super caching. And this is a 3 gigabyte model. And running it again, look how fast it goes, actually. Right now, the unpacking actually just finished. All it is doing is just exporting the directory right now. Like the Dagger unpack has already done. So imagine we are doing this for over 60, 70, a growing number of model kits every day. I think every 4 hours, it goes through our list of models and then checks certain changes, compares them with Hugging Face. So the amount of time we have saved by just doing this is incredible. That basically surprised us when we first saw.
Cache by default.
Cache by default, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember Sam, my co-founder, playing with an AI pipeline with Dagger sometime last year and running to the same thing. Like, wow, you could really, the caching feature, just kind of, you just drop it in and it works as expected for even artifacts that we didn't really plan for, because it's just another directory or container image. I guess you using OCI for everything really helped.
Yes, exactly. We are using OCI for everything, and we are able to essentially do a lot of our comparisons by just doing digest comparisons without even downloading everything.
Oh, I see.
So
nice. It's a great fit. Is this an OCI? Are you using strictly existing standard annotations for OCI, or is it your own format on top of OCI? Do you and are you trying to push that as a new standard? Like, what's your approach to that?
Yeah, so it's not it's basically depends on the OCI standard, but we do have a specification. It's an OCI artifact specification. So what it does is it actually just defines media types for different layers. And the thing that we are able to do with this is we can actually access each layer directly, because each layer of a model kit has its own content type. The advantage of that is our data sets can be gigabytes or terabytes of data. Our models that needs to be associated with that can be gigabytes of data as well. So when we are doing unpack, we want to be able to unpack only the data set, only the model kit, only the data set, but only the data set with label evaluation data set, so that we just run the evaluation tests. So that's why we wanted to be able to access the layers of a model kit separately. And that's why we came up with these media types. But other than that, everything else is just your good old standard OCI.
Yep.
Well, as good as the OCI standard is, OCI standard.
And to your other point, Solomon, I mean, we have been really excited because our goal in doing this was to try and create an actual open vendor neutral standard for packaging AI ML apps, because there wasn't really anything out there. And that we're excited because it does seem like that's exactly where this is going. And I think partly because we were able to stand on the shoulders of giants with the OCI spec as it is. So we're not trying to create something brand new. We're not trying to push something else down people's throat. It's just saying, hey, you're already using this as a standard across so many of your other technology sets. Let's just adapt it so that it fits perfectly to AI ML, and
Yeah, makes sense.
I mean,
Makes perfect sense.
We got signing attestations provenance problems. We are not even thinking about that, for instance, because those are actually solved problems with OCI.
Yeah, this is awesome. And if people want to get started, so Jeremy, I think you already posted a blog post, which is awesome, from your team about how to use all of this. So I guess that would probably be the best resource right now. And then also going to this module that we're showing on the screen, right, Jeremy?
Yeah, I mean, there's 3 of them, so you can even just type Jozu into the search, and you'll get all 3. Here they are.
I'm playing with it right now.
I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'm learning.